Hi, welcome. My name is Shawna and I am here with Susan Olesek, the founder of Enneagram Prison Project. And this is a super spontaneous conversation that we're having. And we just wanted to shoot some video here coming out of a class. So, Susan, thank you for agreeing.
Thank you, Shawna,
to do
for
this
all
video.
that you do.
So I want to hear, how did EPP start? Tell me about the origins of Enneagram Prison Project and how this all happened.
I was invited to prison right out of the hopper as a brand new Enneagram teacher, and I said yes right away. And then I spent all this time fretting over, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I don't know anything, and I'm not good enough, and all that. And honestly, I just really needed to go and teach already because I had so much to learn. I knew all this theory, but I didn't love me, and I didn't really know that that was essential. And so I went and I spent all this time learning about how hard it was to be present to me and all the ego stuff that came up as I tried to teach people this thing that clearly I had not yet learned myself. And that was really the beginning of the project, and that took a lot of years. And just going back, and then from there being super inspired by what I saw in this Texas prison, and then taking that to find an institution close to me in California where I could practice and develop the curriculum, and that also just took more years and more time. And is that?
Yeah, definitely. And how did it go from you being invited to come into a prison in Texas to what it is now? Many states, many countries. Like, how long did that take? What was that process like for you?
I certified in 2009, and shortly thereafter I was invited to that prison. So I guess for me, I would really say that when I saw what the men in blue in that prison were already doing with self-development and then with the Enneagram, I mean, I don't know if this is a overstatement, but kind of immediately in my heart I thought, what if? I think that's kind of what the idealists do, type 1 and 4 and 7. For sure, for me, I just get this very big, well, what's possible? If these guys are doing that, why couldn't we all do that? And what if we did all do that? And surely it should be in more than just this prison. It should be in all. It should be in all the prisons, right? And that's just what happens inside of me. And so I think very quickly in my heart it went like that. The tactical stuff took a minute. Still taking a minute.
Tactical, I like that.
On the ground, practical. How do we make that happen? And I haven't done that. I have done what I see in front of me, and then the universe or God or whatever you want to call that puts all this other stuff in my path, and in EPP's path, and EPP becomes this magnet, and then more people are drawn to that. And now EPP is growing the rest of us.
And talk about that, because I know you have a guide training coming up and that you're recruiting. You're recruiting people who are already teachers in the Enneagram, or at least deeply grounded in the Enneagram as a tool. Talk about your vision for the future of EPP. What do you see it being in 5 years, 10 years, forever?
Well, I really do see that every jail and prison in not just the United States but in the world is possible and happening, and I think that little bit by little bit, just keeping when we keep saying yes to the people that come. I just got back from a pilot program in the UK. I think some people have seen that, and then also a graduate class in France. And I'm not in those countries doing that. So every time that happens and successfully happens, then other people come in and get inspired by that. So I think we've kind of had, in some ways it's been very quick, and in other ways it's been kind of like a slow burn. And so I don't have a aggressive plan for EPP, but I do have a very hopeful one. And I feel that mostly where we bring the project, the thing that's so exciting and I think validating for me is that cross-culturally now, we already knew the Enneagram worked across gender and types and countries and languages, but that the EPP program also translates. That to me is very hopeful, that it's not just because we have stellar guides here in the US, which we do, we also can have those stellar guides in the UK, in France, in Belgium, in Australia, and on and on. So more.
Yeah. So what would you say if there's someone who watches this video who loves the Enneagram, who's done a lot of personal work, internal work, and who's very inspired by this idea of teaching the Enneagram in a jail or prison? What would you say to them as far as what they should do?
Love yourself, because that is the work. And we can learn a lot of theory, and we can do a lot of development kind of stuff. And what we're finding inside of EPP is that the same thing that I learned the very first time I set foot in a prison, which is if you don't really love yourself, it will be very evident. So come and love yourself by practicing this with people who really deserve to learn how to do that, by teaching what we all need to learn, and showing up every time, and being messy, and being imperfect, and being amazing in all of our striving together. That's what I would say.
How has this work changed you?
How hasn't it changed me? I mean, this work has really forced me to deal with parts that I like about me, and that's the hardest part. And we ask people sometimes in our class, what do you love about you? And we ask this of, Diamond Heart students and graduates of PhDs, and you should see people squirm. And I ask this question in corporations too, what do you really like about you? So this project has had me, invited me, forced me, I've forced me to sort of, I guess, enjoy, to tolerate my own company, and then gradually to actually like it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Shawna.
you, Susan.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. And stay tuned for more.